So they went, so the three of them, so me, I ensured they got onto the transport. So I cleared them from the hotel, got them onto the transport. So I handed them over to the travel agency now to get them to JKIA. Then they were going to meet with John and Musyoka and now go to SA. When I left Stanley, I went back to the office and resigned.
What?
Yes.
Dude,
yeah.
What is that? Can I ask why? If I'm allowed to.
Let's just say there's a, okay, actually, let me put it this way. At that time, I had an idea that was burning. It was really, really burning. And I approached HomeBoyz at that time and said, I'd like to do, I'm thinking of this idea and I really want to do it. At that time, we used to be encouraged, like, if you have something else that you want to do, and it doesn't interfere with what you do, you can go ahead. You can even say it and we see how to support. So months before Popstars, I had presented the idea. Then initially, it was all good. Then at some point, I started seeing cracks in when we would discuss the idea, the way I wanted to run it, and the way I was being told it has to run.
There's a disparity.
There's a huge disparity. Now, at some point in January, I made the decision already that Popstars will be my last project at HomeBoyz. I struggled with that decision for a while. But one of the things, remember in the earlier story, I mentioned that one of the guys I used to work with was called Eli Mutoro. He was the head of technical. There's something that Eli told me, and up to today, I will never, ever forget it. And I think it's something that a lot of people need to remember when you're under employment. So you do you. Deliver like you're supposed to deliver. But Eli told me, Fakii, see the way we work hard wherever we are. And that time when he was saying that, it was nothing to do necessarily negatively with HomeBoyz. It was just a general statement.
Yes.
We are here, we are working. But then when you go home alone. You see, at HomeBoyz, we were in this environment where, because we used to wear a lot of branded merchandise, and we used to get the applause and accolades of HomeBoyz, those guys of HomeBoyz. I mean, we were those guys alighting from the nice branded cars and vans. We were the guys walking into gigs. We were the guys providing entertainment. We were the it guys. We were the guys with the hottest radio show on Capital FM. So when we're at work, you're a homeboy. But ukifika home, uko solo. So Eli just told me, Fakii, just remember,
at home.
When you go home,
you're a boy at home.
You're a boy at home.
Hakuna homeboy hapa.
That thing really stuck with me.
That's deep.
It really, really stuck with me.
So what it's saying, you are not who you are when you're at work, and not in a negative way.
Yes.
I get it.
You have to remember that there is you at the end of the day. It's similar to that thing where I've seen people saying it lately, where they say, do you know if underemployment, if you died today, your replacement will be done so fast. Yeah. So I went and resigned.
That is so deep. Fakii, you watched that summer bus drive.
Yeah.
And you knew it was going to the airport.
Yeah.
And you knew your journey had come to an end.
Yes. So two people.
Were they shocked?
I think
the fact that you haven't answered it too quickly means that
one of them was shocked, one of them was not shocked.
Oh, okay.
But they all thought that I would rethink it. But for me, the biggest pain I felt at that time was especially because there are two people who are annoyed with me because I didn't tell them. And I could only tell them months after.
Yep.
When they came back. Sanaipe and John.
Oh.
I really used to like being around John. I used to admire him. And John was the kind of person who I would go to with anything. So John, as much as he was director of HomeBoyz,
He was your boy.
He was my boy, so he was not really my boss. Like, yes, there was that level of respect.
Yes.
But he was more my boy than my boss. And he treated me the same.
Yeah, but you also respected the fact that he was your boss and you did what you needed to do.
Yes. So when he came back, he was not happy that I'd not told him.
Oh man.
Sana also was not happy because also her folks had told me, because her folks also thought I was going to SA. So her folks had told me, please take care of her, nini nini. So now I told Sana, I'm not going to SA with you guys. But don't worry, John is such a cool dude. You'll be okay. You know. So those are the two people who I felt bad for not telling. So I resigned. And I remember this was either end of March or end of April. When I left, because I had
this idea.
I had 1 month leave that I hadn't taken. I was paid for that month and the following month. Now, I remember my net salary at that time, because my gross salary at that time for those 3 months of 2004 was 25K.
Yeah.
So I think because of a small loan I'd taken, I was being paid 17K after taxes and the loan. So I was being paid 17K. So I remember I walked out with 34K, 2004. I went home. I was living in an SQ in South B.
What?
I went home. I paid 2 months rent. My landlady, of course, asked me. So I told her, Aki, I've just quit my job. I don't know what
It's coming.
is coming. But here, so that I know for the next 2 months I'm covered, I'll figure it out later. So I went home. I stayed home, I think, for like a week or so. And then, before that, as I was developing my idea when I was in HomeBoyz, even the year before, 2003, I don't know how I met this guy or I sought him out. But there was this guy who was the IT guy. See what I did there? He was the guy he was that young guy who was providing solutions to media houses. All the media houses used to use his SMS platform. So I sought him out, Bernsoft, Bernard Kioko.
Yep.
So I went to see him. I can't remember the details, but I went to see him and I presented my idea to him. Bernard loved it. He said, let's do it. Now at that time, I'd even told him, in fact, even HomeBoyz are going to put money behind this thing. So Bernard started working, started creating the
IT solution.
The IT solution for this idea. So when I left work, now I had to go and tell him, these guys, this and this happened, so I had to leave. So me, I'm thinking, if you're still game, we can do this. Bernsoft Nani said, let's do it. Let me tell you, he told me, let's do it. I was so happy because now I knew with the little money I had, I would leave home, go to his office and work on this idea. Now, at that time, his office was where? Ramco Court. Where am I living? South B, Golden Gate. So it's easy. Walk from Golden Gate, get to Mombasa Road, cross Mombasa Road into Ramco Court, his office.
Okay.
Bernsoft gave me a a laptop to be using there. I used to sit there. You know, like things were easy.
How old are you at this time, Fakii, by the way?
This was 2004. So I was 20. 2004. I was 27.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 27. 26, 27. So we start developing the idea, nini. I think by the time SEMA were coming back, we were done with the idea and were ready to launch. But now we still needed some money to operate. So Bernard, through his contacts, got together with some guy. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention his name. Let me mention. So he got together with some guy, talked to him about the idea, and the guy actually invested money. So he gave us 600,000 bob.
Yo.
Yeah. I think we needed slightly less than that, but he gave us 600,000 bob. And the beauty about this was him and his wife were so involved in the business that they used to, we'd go to their house, take them through the idea, give them our plans. They would even give us their thinking, their solutions, This guy was Phil Matthews.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Hey, this story. You guy, you know the whole industry.
So, the idea was this. How do we get Kenyans to own, to buy music legally? That was the basic idea. How do we get Kenyans to buy music legally? So Bernard is a very sharp guy. So he created two solutions. And we called the brand MyMusic because we wanted Kenyans to own music. So this was 2004. We launched MyMusic. So MyMusic used to work in two ways. For especially the guys abroad, though we later learned, we learned through the system that even Kenyans here used to use it, including you.
We'll get there.
You'd go onto our website, you select music that you want, you pay per song, and you download onto a software where you can't transfer it, but you can only burn it on a CD. So that was number one. Number two, we made a deal with Uchumi.
Yep.
So the deal was, so we were in 4 Uchumis, and there were the hypers. So there was
Sarit,
Ngong Road, Hyper,
insane.
Mombasa Road, Capital Center, where I think it's the Naivas that is there now, or there's a big supermarket there. That was Uchumi. And then the other one was Langata.
This is crazy.
So what we had was, we had computers in each of those outlets with personnel. Uchumi gave us 1 cashier point in each of the outlets. And what you do is, and we used to have to do this every week, updating new music onto the system. So for me, I used to sign the contracts with the artists. I used to go look for the artists, look for the producers, sign contracts with them, get the music, bring it to the office. By this time, I think at some point we moved office to town. Norwich Union.
Norwich Union, where the cyber cafe was.
Yes. So we would I'd bring the CDs. Bernard had a team, a guy called Max and a guy called Richard Ruoro, who used to work with him at the office, and a chick called Grace. So I'd bring the music, they put it onto the system, then they convert it into a format only the software he created can read. And then now they give me a CD. This CD has music, but in a format that cannot play anywhere else except
that program.
So see, that program is installed in the outlets in the Uchumis. So I go around to the different Uchumis and I update onto the.
That is so brilliant.
And then we had a physical list of all the music that we had. So every week we would update it. Then as I'm taking the CDs, I'd also take the updated list. So that now the people there had the new list. So guys would come. So now at Uchumi, this was the deal. So we bought blank unbranded CDs. Then we even bought a printer for printing on CDs. MyMusic, it was like a nice design. So then those ones would go to the stores. So a customer would come to Uchumi, get a booklet, see the music that they want. And we used to encourage them that if you're coming to get music and you're coming to do shopping, because of the time process of burning the CD, select your songs, then go shopping. So someone would come, they select their songs, and then they go shopping. By the time they come back, they pay for their songs. So if, for example, you've bought 10 songs.
10 bob a song?
No, that time it was 75 bob.
75 bob a song?
Yeah, was it 50 or 75? 75 bob. I think later we dropped it to 50, but initially it was 75 bob. And then we used to charge 200 bob for the CD. Then we used to give, I think, 60 or 70% back to the artists. 60%, because now our expenses were high. So we used to have a split of 60/40.
You were paying rent for that space at Uchumi?
No.
It was just a partnership that they had done.
So the thing is, and now this makes up another development. The way it was, when someone buys the CD, when you get the CD, you get a piece of paper that is written the amount. And then, no, we were in each of those places, we were given that machine that generates the amount on a sticker. So the person at the booth would generate the sticker and give the person to go and pay together with whatever they're paying for. So Uchumi used to collect the money. Then now us would have to invoice them.
Uchumi.
And then we collect the money, we do our reports. Then every quarter would send reports to the artists. No, every month we used to send the reports to the artists, and we pay them their money.
Hey, Fakii, I have a lot of questions about this. Now, this is why I have questions. Because me, I was the diaspora guy.
Yes.
But the difference with me, I'd come home a lot. So, I was the first website where you could download mass Kenyan music. Yes. KenyanMadness.net. Started the KenyanMadness.8k.com and became KenyanMadness.net. So, of course, I started getting a hunger to find Kenyan music. I started this in 2001. By 2004, this website is blowing up. But Kenyan music is blowing up. And I remember Prezo. I went, the reason I know Sarit, I lived in Loresho at the time. I came to Sarit to specifically buy the song Prezo featuring Talia.
Okay.
You get? And I was also becoming a musician, so I came to Londra. I'm not keep calling it Londra House.
No, it's Union.
No, it's Union. Also because of the 7th floor cyber. So I was so blown away by this system. You could literally buy music from Uchumi. And I remember buying the song Mimi na Wewe, Prezo featuring Talia. Like, how long were you? But then after that, I left. I also came back and bought more music. Of course, I went and transformed them to MP3s and put them on my website. But I want to know from you guys, how successful was this? Were people buying? Was there a market?
People were buying. The challenge for us was we were struggling to meet our costs because, remember, we had the costs of the computers. At that time, because we didn't have the money, big money, the office we were at, Norwich Union, was being run by a guy who used to run his own other business, but he was doing some partnership deal with Bernsoft. So we were there courtesy of him.
Yes.
Mr. Kagishiri. Now, there's something educational that he used to run. So he had some computers lying around. So I think between them and what Bernard could put together, we got some computers now to go to the outlets. But we were renting these computers.
I get it.
And then there was personnel in Uchumi.
That you had to pay
that
for.
we had to pay for.
Okay.
Because it was not the Uchumi people running.
I get it.
It had to be our people.
Okay.
Then of course there's the expense of the cost of, now it was me going to studios all the time. Like I would go to a studio and just sit for like 6 hours just to see, do you guys have any new music coming? Because you see, while there are some artists who used to bring their music to us, there are some places where you had to go. They were big time, so they didn't have time to to look for you. You don't want to look for them. But the beauty of it? Francis Ogopa, that one guy who people don't know his face.
Yes,
He used to come to our
most
office.
requested person on CTA.
I don't think you'll ever get him.
We'll come back to that. Don't say me, I be happy.
It will be easier to get Lucas than Francis. Yeah, I don't think you'll get Francis.
There's a difference between Francis and Lucas.
Yeah. So Francis used to come to our office and bring the music himself. Ogopa music. Francis used to bring. Clemo used to send Tom. You know Tom?
Yes.
Tom has worked with Clemo for the longest time.
They're still together even till today.
Yeah. Clemo used to send Tom to our office to bring Caliph music.
So there was fununu about you in the industry.
Yeah.
People knew that this was a way for us to start making money.
Remember?
This is pre-skiza. There's no skiza. There's none of those things.
Remember, I'd come from the time when we wanted to do the magazine. See, I used to talk to these guys.
Oh, yes.
Then now I was in HomeBoyz.
Oh.
So I knew all these guys. And for me, it was a phone call away.
Okay, give me an idea of the landscape of the music industry now. We're not finished this conversation about this platform, because now, where is Kenyan music right now? Is there that much demand by us for us that you guys are seeing this project being viable?
So backtrack a bit to while I was still at HomeBoyz. See, I'm working with Lucas.
At HomeBoyz, yes. One of the DJs, yes.
So by virtue of working with Lucas and by virtue of us guys for parties getting local music, I start getting interested in the music business. So I start talking to Lucas more. Lucas introduces me to Francis.
Who was Francis? Who is Francis to Lucas? The business personnel side.
Ogopa is Francis and Lucas.
But is Lucas a producer?
Yes.
What?
Lucas was the producer.
But what? No, sorry, yes. Lucas is a producer. Is Francis a producer?
Francis is not a producer, but Francis is the guy who says whether that song goes out or not.
Okay, hold on. You get this the best city I'm doing what? I have so many questions. Okay. So Francis sounds like A&R. He sounds like he knows who is the guy sitting down making the beats.
Lucas. Yes.
So where does Francis check in? Who takes this song to radio?
There was a guy called Banda. Do you remember Banda?
Yes, Banda now is the one.
Banda is the one who used to.
Yes, I know Banda.
Yeah.
Okay. So Banda takes the music to Thingy.
Yes.
Rewind selector, come again. Guys, we're coming back to that other conversations. Let's ingia Ogopa. You know, when we touch Ogopa, and you are internal, you are as close to Lucas as we are getting right now. We have to spend some time there. Let's have a conversation about Ogopa. So right now, you're at HomeBoyz, and at HomeBoyz, Lucas, who I'm hearing is just a part of the Ogopa, is the DJ there.
Yes.
And he's a DJ under HomeBoyz.
Yes.
Now, Lucas, on his other side, or his main hustle, is a producer under this stable called Ogopa.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Ogopa then.
Ogopa